Hello, this is Professor Urbis White. Today we will learn how to deal with word problems. That's a nightmare of an area for beginning algebra students. I'll try to help you as much as I can. But make sure you do not watch this video before you're very, very comfortable with solving equations. Then I'll pretty much show you how to read a math problem and write down an equation for the math problem, and then use the methods that I showed you before to solve that math problem. Okay, here we go. Okay, now, to do a math problem, you need to know a couple of things, and I will just show you the addition words, and make sure you put these in cards, flashcards, and then kind of learn how that works. To add it to a number, when you see a number, put an X in there, okay? So, to add it to a number, this passive tense, number goes first, is X plus 2. 2 is added to a number. Next one, a number more than 4. A number is more than 4. So you have 4, and a number is more than that. So these two are backwards. Make sure you know that. 3 is increased by a number. Passive. 3 is increased by a number. The sum of a number and 5. Okay, this one's straight again. Sum of a number is X, and 5. So kind of drill that a little bit. So we're going to go to the next one. Subtraction words. 3 subtracted from a number is like X again. 3 subtracted from it, so here it is. A number goes first, 3 is subtracted from it. 5 less than a number, again, 5 is less than a number. A number is decreased by 5. A number is decreased by 5. So make sure you see this 5 goes next and the number goes first, and there's a lot of room for confusion there. Difference between a number and 5. A number goes first and 5. Between this number and 5. Multiplication words. Okay. 3 is multiplied by a number. Ideally, 3 is multiplied by a number. It's just simply 3 times x. X times 3, doesn't matter. Product of 3 and a number. 3 and a number. Twice a number, triple a number, quadruple a number. What does that mean? It's just multiply. Oops. Twice is twice, 2. 20% of a number, that's a good one. When you see a percent and the word of, that is a multiplication. 20%, change it into a decimal. 20% is 0.2 of a number times x. All right. We're almost there. Division words. 4 is divided by a number. Watch. 4 is divided by a number. Do not mix it up. This is the same as 4 is divided by a number. The same as 4 is divided by a number. Again, the same as 4 is divided by a number. Okay? So make sure you don't mix those up. Quotient of a number and 5. A number and 5. A number and 5. The same thing. A number divided by 5. A number divided by 5, and so forth. Okay? Here you go. Got it? When you see the word is, was, were, yields, those things, they always mean equal. Okay? So, now I think you're ready. Okay, let's do putting it all together. 4 more than twice a number is 3. Just putting down the equations. 4 more than twice a number is 3. Product of 4 and what? 4 and the sum of a number and 3. There's no is in there, so this is just simply an expression. Product of means multiply 4 times the sum of a number and 3. Parentheses, because that whole thing is together. Sum of a number and 3. So this is just multiplication. Okay? All right. Quotient of 5 and a number is 7. We are just writing down. Quotient of 5 and a number. What is that? Quotient. 5 and a number is 7. How about this one? Difference of a number and 4 is 6. Difference of a number and 4 is 6. How about this? Sum of twice a number and 5 is 2. Sum of what? Twice a number and 5. Twice a number and 5 is 2. Okay? So you can read them word by word with those keywords that I showed you and write down your equations. Here we go. Okay, now a word problem. I mean, literally, there are sentences in there. The first thing to do is write down what x represents. Now, sum of two numbers is 26. Find the numbers if the larger number is 2 less than 3 times the smaller number. Okay, now, usually, I take the smaller numbers as x, so I will write it down. X as the smaller number. Write down. These are the steps. And then put another letter. Y is the larger number. But they tell me what that larger number is. That larger number is, here we go, 2 less than 3 times the smaller number. 2 less than the 3 times the smaller number. Do you see it? So I only have one letter going. So I can put x for the smaller number and 3x minus 2 for the bigger number. Now I need one more sentence to put it together. Sum of two numbers is 26. That means the small one and the big one. So the small one is x. The big one is 3x minus 2. And that whole thing is 26. Take out the parentheses and combine the like terms. 3 plus 1, that's 4, equals 26. And guess what? Add 2, just like that stuff that we've been doing. 26 plus 2, that's 28. And get rid of 4. Guess what? X equals 7. Am I done? Always go back to your problem. It says find the numbers. Okay, numbers means, you know, both of them. So the small number is 7. How about the big one? Big one, I told myself, is 3 times the small minus 2. So 3 times the small one minus 2. What is that? 21 minus 2. Oops. 21 minus 2. And that gives you 19. So the big one is 19. And small one is 7. And guess what? Do they add up to 26? It looks like it. 7 plus 19, 26. Very good. So that's called the number problem. Okay, let's see. I did that problem already. Okay, so let's do this one. Recently, the average calorie intake by kids was increased 8% to 1,600 calories. Find the kids' calorie intake before the increase. So usually the question will give it away what x is going to be. It says find the kids' calorie intake. How about x is the kids' calorie intake initially, before the increase. Now what happened to it? The average calorie intake by kids was increased by 8%. Okay, so here's your initial. It's increased by 8%. So 8% of x. What is it now? 1,600. Here's my equation. Combine the like terms. That's 1.08x equals 1,600. All right, do your thing. divide by 1.08, divide by 1.08. These two go, x equals, I need the calculator for that one, 1600 divided by 1.08. That one gives me 1481.48 calories. Does that make sense? It was 1481 something. Now it increased by 8% and it became 1600. That makes perfect sense. All right. Always have a reality check. Okay, here's another one. One of those fencing problems, let me get this zoom out a little bit so you can see. Here you go. I want to fence off my garden with 30 feet of fencing. What are the dimensions of the rectangular area if the length is 3 feet longer than the width? Always draw a picture. Here you go. Okay, I'm going to put fencing all around. That's a funky kind of garden. Okay, 30 feet. All of them, perimeter is 30 feet. What are the dimensions of the rectangular area if the length is 3 feet longer than the width? Here's my width. Here's my length. And guess what? One of them is always dependent on the other one. It is 3 feet longer, so that means W plus 3. Now, what's my perimeters? It says, what are the dimensions? So they want both L and W. So let's write down my equation. P equals 2L plus 2W. P is 30. L is W over 3, so I can put that in there. And then I have another 2W in there. Clean it up. 30 equals 2W is 2W. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2W. One more, 30 equals 2 plus 2, that's 4. Take away 6. I have 4W equals 30 minus 6, 24. Divide by 4. I have 6 feet. My width is 6 feet. Let's go in here. So my width is 6 feet. What's my length then? My length was 3 more than that. Here we go. So adds 3. My length is 9. So does that make sense? And does it answer the question? So I have 6 and 9. Here's this 6. 6 and 6 is 12. 12, and this is 9 and 9. That's 18. 18 and 12 together is 30 feet. Did I answer the question? Length is 6 feet. Length is 9 feet and width is 6 feet. And they're asking what are the dimensions. All done. I even checked my answer. Did they end up to 30? All good. All right. Vertical angles. These are a little bit funky, but sometimes they may say it. Understand that these two are the same and these two are the same. They may give you things that are kind of like funky. Let's say 2x degrees and then 3x plus 1. Okay, what does that mean? And these are all in degrees, for example. So I know that these opposite ones are the same, so you can write 2x. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Let's make minus 1. Okay, let's change that to minus 1. 2x equals 3x minus 1. Okay, so let's subtract 3x from both sides. You have negative x equals negative 1. That means x equals 1. Now, since they want it in degrees, you just have to plug it back in. So that one is 2 times 1, 2 degrees, the first one. And this one is going to be 2 degrees. 3 times x is 1. Okay, 1 minus 1. So 3 times 1, 3 minus 1, that's 2 as well. Okay, so this is 2 degrees and 2 degrees, and my drawing is very, very off because 2 degrees is just tiny, so it's going to be something like that. Okay, but I just threw in those numbers so that you know. So you just set them equal and solve for x and plug it back in and make sure that they are the same because they are vertical angles. That's one type of geometry question you have. Okay, another one is like a money question. I put my savings into 2 types of CDs. One gives 2%, the other one 3% interest. If I put in $1,200 total, make a total of $31 at the end, how much did I put in each account? All right, so you have to kind of write down what your X and Y is. X is first account, how much I put in the first account. Y is how much I put in the second account. All right, so first and second together, so if this is X, the second one I have to write it as X. Remember, together I put in 1,200. So that's the key. So the second one, instead of writing it Y, I can subtract X from 1,200. That will give me the second one. So the first account is X, second account is 12 minus X. Now let's talk about interest I made. The first one gives 2%. 2% is 2%, the amount of money you put in. The second one gives 3%. And how much is the second one? 1,200 minus X. So this is the interest from first account, interest from second account, interest 1, interest 2. Together, I'm going to make $31. Ooh. All right, so let's write it down. 0.02x plus, let me multiply this, 0.03 times 1,200. That one is 36 minus 0.03x equals 31. So let's go, these two will give me 36 minus 0.01x equals 31. Now I'm going to subtract 31 from both sides. Maybe I shouldn't have done this, but that's okay. I have 5 minus 0.01x equals 0. Now move that over. You're going to add 0.01x here. Let's go here so that I can continue. So I have 5 equals 0.01x. Divide both sides by 0.01. Look what you get. 5 divided by 0.01 is simply 500. One account, the one that gives 2%, 500. Where's the other one? The other one is going to be 1,200 minus 500, which is simply 700. So I put 700 in one and 500 in the other, and it looks like that's what they were asking. And then they add up to 1,200, and it's all good. All right. Now I'm going to do some of them that are a little bit harder, and these need some tables, so it's a little bit easier. These are the mixture problems, so I'll just tell you how it works. The mixture solution problems with the mixture bean problems are all done the same way. All right. I need 10 pounds mixture that will sell $2.40 per pound. Okay? Now, this one, the first one is $2.40 per pound. The second one, oh, that will sell, I'm sorry, $2.40 per pound. The first one is $2.30 per pound. The second one is $2.65 per pound. I want to make the $2.40 per pound. Do I know how much I put in? I do not know. I have X. Well, if this mixture is 10 pounds, what will be this one? It's going to simply be 10 minus X. So let's look at the total cost. Okay? The total cost is going to be $2.40 times 10. What will be the total cost for that one? 265 times 10 minus x. What will be the total cost for this one? 230 times x. Guess what? The cost of this plus that should give me that. So let's write down that equation. 2.3x plus 2.65 10 minus x equals 2.4 times 10, which is 24. Clean it up. 2.3x plus 26.5 minus 265x equals 24. Now let's put these two together. 2.3 minus 2.65, that's negative 0.35x. And then you have 24, subtract 26.5. I'm doing a little faster. So I have 0.35x equals 24 minus 26.5, that's negative 2.5. Divide both sides by negative 0.35. What do I get? X equals 2.5 divided by 0.35. That's 7.14. 7.14 what? 7.14 pounds of the type A. And then what will be the type B? The type B is going to be 10 minus that. So 10 minus 7.14, that's going to be 2.86. And what is that? Pounds. So, how much of each? Very good. 2.86 of one pounds and 7.14 pounds of the other. Okay. Now, when I do the same problem with the chemical, I actually go two types of solutions to make 6 liters of solution. Watch. 6 liter and 20%. So my concentration is 20% of 6 liters. Now 20% of 6 liters is 0.2 times 6, which is 1.2 amount of chemical. How much is that? That's in liters. Okay? This is amount of chemical in the mixture. Two types of air to make a 6 liter. Type A is 40% concentrated. Type B is 5% concentrated. How much of each? I don't know. The first one is X. What will be the second one? 6 minus X. Let's write the amount of chemical. Amount of chemical is simply concentration times X. Concentration times the volume. And once you fill out your table correctly, the equation falls out. 0.4x plus 0.05, 6 minus x is 1.2. Work it out. 0.4x plus 0.05 times 6. 0.3 minus 0.05x equals 1.2. Let's put this together. So that's 0.35x from these two plus 0.3 equals 1.2. Subtract 0.3. So you're going to have 0.35x equals 1.2 minus 0.3. That's 0.9. Divide both sides by 0.35. You're going to end up with 0.9 divided by 0.35. 2.57 liters of 40%. And then what will be the other one? The other one is going to be, this is the A type. The other one will be 6 minus that. 6 minus 2.57 is simply 3.53. So you have 2.57 one type, 3.53 the other type, and they add up to 6 liters. All right, let's see, how much time do I have? 5 minutes. This is my last one I will do. Paul and Mary start at the same point and at the same time and walk the same direction. Here's Paul walking, here's Mary walking, all right? Okay, but the thing is, Paul walks 4 miles per hour and Mary walks 3.5 miles per hour, so Paul doesn't wait for him. He is 4 miles per hour and she is 3.5 miles per hour. And they walk the same amount of time. So how's that work? So if my time is t, let's call it t. How much distance is Paul going to walk? 4t. How much is she going to walk? 3.5t. Does that make sense? Okay, now they're going to be 1 mile apart because Paul is just a Speedy Gonzales, so he's going to go a little bit faster. So he traveled 4t and she traveled 3.5t. And guess what? The difference, they want them to be 1 mile. All right, so what is that? 4 minus 3.5, 0.5t equals 1. T equals 1 over 0.5, which is 2. Guess what? He's going to start walking really fast, and she's going to try to catch up. And then after 2 hours, he's going to be 1 full mile ahead of her. So please practice these word problems. I did a little bit of each type, and I'll see you next time.